Picture this, you're born into the most powerful bloodline in the world. Your family has dragons, your ancestors conquered an entire continent. People look at your silver hair and purple eyes and don't just see royalty, they see something almost divine. From the outside, being born a Targaryen looks like the greatest gift imaginable. But fast forward, your brother might become your husband, your sister might become your enemy, your child might become a political weapon, your dreams might be prophecy, or they might be madness, your dragon might make you powerful, or it might turn your worst impulse into a massacre. And every time you show anger, ambition, or even emotion, the realm whispers the same thing. The gods flip a coin when a Targaryen is born. That's what people miss. The real curse of House Targaryen isn't just madness or incest, it's that they're never allowed to be normal people. They are symbols before they are children, weapons before they understand power, saviors before they understand themselves. So the question isn't why so many Targaryens break. The real question is, how could anyone be born into that family and not break eventually? Imagine you are born with silver hair and purple eyes. And before you even understand what those things mean, adults are already speaking about you like you are not fully human. Some call you blessed, some call you dangerous, some call you the blood of a dragon. You grow up hearing stories about Aegon the Conqueror and Balerion the Black Dread, about old Valyria, about kings who ruled from the Iron Throne, and dragons that turned armies into ash. At first, it probably feels exciting. You are not like the other children. Your family is clearly special. Your blood is special. Your future is supposed to be special. But as you get older, the truth becomes harder to ignore. Being special does not mean being free. It means being watched. Every emotion you have matters more than it should. If you get angry, people wonder if the madness is starting. If you're ambitious, people wonder if you are dangerous. And if you're quiet, people wonder what you're hiding. You can never just be a strange kid, or a spoiled kid, or a lonely kid, or an even emotional kid. You're a Targaryen. So everything you do becomes part of a much bigger story. This is where the problem starts. Your name gives you power, but it also traps you. Look at Viserys Targaryen, Daenerys' brother. He grows up being told he's the rightful king, the last dragon, the heir to a stolen throne, but in reality he has nothing. No kingdom, no army, no dragon, no castle. He lives in exile, begging rich men for help, depending on the kindness of people who do not respect him. Imagine being told your whole life that you are destined to rule, while everyone around you treats you like a joke. That kind of gap between who you think you are and how the world treats you can destroy a person. So Viserys clings to the only thing he still has, his name. He calls himself the dragon because without that title, he is just a powerless man with no home. Every insult feels unbearable because it reminds him of who he actually is. Every delay feels like betrayal because he believes the throne is owed to him. And eventually, he sells his own sister to Khal Drogo because he convinces himself that getting back the crown matters more than anything else. He thinks the throne will fix the shame, but it never does. He dies chasing an identity that was killing him long before Drogo poured gold on his head. Now, imagine you are not Viserys. Imagine you are born inside the family at the height of its power, with dragons alive and the throne still in Targaryen hands. That sounds better, but it might actually be worse, because now your own family becomes the danger. You are not just a son or a daughter, you're a claim. If you are born male, you might threaten your older sister. If you are born female, half the realm may decide you matter less. If you are a younger brother, ambitious lords may decide you would make a useful replacement. You are a political problem before you even have a personality. That is basically what happens in the House of Dragon. Rhaenyra is named heir by her father, and for a while it seems simple. The king chose her, the lord swore to her, the throne should be hers. Then Viserys remarries and has sons, and suddenly love becomes politics. Aegon is not just her baby brother. He's the argument people will use against her. Aemond is not just a bullied second son, he is a future weapon. A client is not just the king's wife, she becomes the mother of a rival bloodline. One family turns into two factions living under the same roof. And that is what sucks about being born Targaryen. A normal family conflict can become a civil war. Other families argue over inheritance and maybe someone gets poisoned or stabbed. Targaryens argue over inheritance and dragons start falling from the sky. The Dance of the Dragons is not just a political war, it is a family destroying itself because every child born into it can become a threat to another child. Rhaenyra loses children, Aegon is broken, Helaena is trapped in a war she never asked for. Aemond becomes more and more dangerous, and by the end, the family's greatest strength, their dragons, becomes the thing that helps wipe them out. That is another part people forget. Having a dragon would be amazing for about 5 minutes. Then you realize what it actually means. You are not just a person anymore. You are military power. You are a weapon your family can use. If you are angry, that anger is dangerous. If you are insecure, that insecurity is dangerous. If you panic, thousands of people might die. Everyone wants a dragon until they realize the dragon does not make you less human. It just makes your human problems bigger. And Aemond is the clearest example. He is mocked as a child because he does not have a dragon. In a normal family, that would mean nothing. In his family, it means humiliation. He is surrounded by people who have something he does not, and that makes him feel smaller every day. Then he claims Vhagar, the largest living dragon in the world, and suddenly the kid everyone laughed at can terrify the entire realm. But Vhagar does not heal him. She does not make him secure. She just gives his resentment wings. That is why the moment with Viserys is so important. Aemond wants to scare him. He wants revenge. He wants to feel powerful. But once they are both in the sky, it is not fully in his hands anymore. The dragons react. The storm escalates everything. Viserys dies, and now there is no going back. One angry young man with a dragon turns a family feud into a blood feud. That is the problem with Targaryen power. It lets children make mistakes on the scale of kings. You might think the solution is simple. Just be a good Targaryen. Be responsible, be kind, don't chase power, don't burn people, but even that does not really save you. I mean, look at Jon Snow. For most of his life, he thinks he's Ned Stark's bastard. That identity hurts him, but it also protects him in a strange way. He grows up with Stark values, honor, duty, restraint, protecting the weak. He does not want a crown. He does not want the Iron Throne. He does not even want to be special. Then he learns the truth. He is not Ned Stark's son. He is Aegon Targaryen, the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne, and suddenly, nothing about him has changed. But everything about his life has changed. He is the same person as yesterday, but now people look at him differently. Now he is a claim, a threat, a secret that can destroy alliances. He does not want power, but power wants him anyway. That is how cursed the bloodline is. You can reject the throne, but the throne may not reject you. Daenerys has the opposite problem. She starts with nothing and slowly becomes everything her family myth promised. She is sold by her brother, used as a political tool, and forced into a life she did not choose. But then she survives fire. She hatches dragons, she frees slaves, she builds armies, people call her mother, cities fall before her. After enough impossible things happen, destiny stops feeling like a fantasy. It starts feeling like evidence. And that is where things become dangerous. If you believe you are chosen to save the world, anyone who resists you starts to look like they are standing in the way of salvation. Daenerys does not begin as a monster. That is what makes it tragic. She begins as someone who knows what it feels like to be powerless. But the more power she gains, the more she trusts her own destiny. And when a Targaryen with dragons believes destiny is on their side, disagreement can start to look evil. Mercy becomes harder. Compromise feels like weakness. Fire starts to feel like justice, and that is why the prophecy is so dangerous for them. For most people, a dream is just a dream. For Targaryens, it might be a warning that saves your entire family, like Daenerys the Dreamer seeing the doom of Valyria. So now every strange dream matters. Every vision might be real. Every prophecy might be the reason your house survives or the reason it destroys itself. Aegon's dream about the Song of Ice and Fire makes the throne seem like more than power. It makes it seem like a duty to humanity itself. And if your family believes it must rule to save the world, almost anything can be justified. The sad thing is that even love gets infected by all of this. In another family, a brother is just a brother, a sister is just a sister, a child is just a child. In House Targaryen, none of those relationships stay clean. Your sibling might also be your spouse. Your children might be the heir that threatens someone else. Your marriage might be about blood purity instead of love. Your body might belong more to the dynasty than to yourself. This is especially brutal if you are a Targaryen woman. Rhaenyra can be named heir and still spend her whole life fighting the fact that she is not a man. Rhaenys can have a strong claim and still become the queen who never was. Helaena can be gentle and harmless and still get trapped in a war she did not start. Daenerys can be sold to Khal Drogo like she is a bargaining chip. Aemma can be loved by Viserys and still be sacrificed to the need of a male heir. Even when Targaryen women have dragons, the world still tries to reduce them to marriage, childbirth, and succession. That is the pattern with this family. The throne does not care if you are good or bad. It consumes both. Rhaenyra wants what she was promised and loses almost everything. Aegon II is crowned and becomes broken by the war around him. Aerys becomes the nightmare everyone feared. Daenerys reaches King's Landing and loses herself at the finish line.
Jon refuses the crown and still suffers because of it. Viserys wants the crown more than anything and dies before he ever gets close. The Iron Throne is supposed to be the prize, but for Targaryens, it is usually the trap. So when people say it would be amazing to be born a Targaryen, they're usually thinking about the dragon, the heir, the throne, the power. They are not thinking about the pressure. They are not thinking about the expectations. They are not thinking about the fact that your own birth could start a succession crisis. They are not thinking about the madness people expect from you or the prophecy you might feel forced to obey. The real tragedy of House Targaryen is that they are told they are closer to gods than men, but they still suffer like everyone else. They still want love, they still want safety, they still want approval, they still want a family that does not turn on itself. They still want to know their life belongs to them, but the bloodline says no, the throne says no, the prophecy says no, and if they have a dragon, the dragon makes every mistake bigger. And that is why being born a Targaryen sucks. Not because every Targaryen is evil, not because every Targaryen is mad, but because they are born into a machine that worships them, isolates them, uses them, fears them, and then acts shocked when they break. They inherit the greatest power in the world, but they also inherit one of the worst lives in Westeros. So next time you see a Targaryen riding above the world on a dragon, looking untouchable, remember what you are actually seeing. That might be freedom, but it also might be a cage, because being born a Targaryen means history owns you before you ever get the chance to own yourself. And that might be the cruelest curse in all of Game of Thrones. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys press the like button and make sure you press the bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next.